the more we learn about the function of our nervous system, the functions, and also the capacity that we can, through train and integrate, we can literally learn to reset, to detox. And it's a process. It's not a quick fix, but where does this idea come from that it should be a quick fix? It's a practice, like a craft. And if you put the energy into that craft, it changes our inner state, and that inner state becomes more stable and regulated. And we can see that, because even if, for example, some people really have high profile jobs, we work a lot, it is not about how much time we put into our work, it's the state from which we work that matters. It's not if we work a lot, then that's good or bad. It's like that the state from which we work a lot matters for our health, matters for the way we sleep, and how we recharge our bodies, how we recharge our batteries. And so stress can be very needed, and creative stress is needed, and will happen, and is also good, as long as we can regulate it. And that regulation is a capacity. And for some of us, we grew up in very regulated circumstances. And so that helps us very much to stay more regulated. But if it's not that way, we can learn and integrate so that we can come to a more regulated place. And that's a gift for ourselves, and that's a gift for everybody around us, because that creates much more meaningful and deep and lasting relationships. That creates an ecosystem that is more regulated. And I think if millions of people create an ecosystem that is more regulated, we also have a much higher capacity to solve for many of the issues that we see right now globally. And that's why it starts with a practice, and it starts also with a collective practice. And that's why coming together also to explore the power of regulation, and also the beauty of, like, that regulation brings joy, regulation brings presence, regulation brings the capacity to enjoy. How can you enjoy something beautiful? It can be an art piece, a sunset, a good meal, a good conversation, when internally you're running. We will have much less joy, or we need to numb ourselves or self-medicate ourselves with all kinds of stuff to be able to be somewhere, because if we don't do it, we are just running internally. Even if we sit with people, we constantly think about other things, we cannot fully listen, we are distracted, we can't really sleep well because we wake up and we think. So all of that are symptoms that we can work on, and we have tools to step by step ground. And very important also is that even if we are stressed, it's not something that's good or bad, it's something that needs more awareness, attention, and we have the capacity to change. Because if I start thinking, oh, I shouldn't be stressed, then I'm putting my stress into the off and the out, and it becomes less and less reachable for me to regulate. And the self-assessment before shows that we pretty quickly have a sense, and the part of us that can sense how stressed we are is the part that has access to become more and more regulation, so that we can feel stress activation and relaxation. And the beauty is, whenever we want to meditate, whenever we want to work on ourselves, whenever we sit with a client, whenever we are a parent with our children, the state of our nervous system is an asset. Whenever we run a team or run an organization, the state of our nervous system is an asset and will create an atmosphere. And I think same as we enjoy when somebody really listens and feels us, other people do the same when we are relating to them. So I think that's a great asset to provide, besides all the skills and all the other intelligence that we all bring into the space think that's why I think it's good to think about it a bit different. It's not just a self-centered practice. It's a practice for myself that immediately has an ecosystemic design aspect through co-regulation, like self-regulation turns in every interaction that we have where we are regulated, we become a co-regulative factor. So immediately my inner state will design the ecosystem that I create around myself. So it becomes the atmosphere of my ecosystem. And it becomes the atmosphere of my family. It becomes the atmosphere in which my children grow up in. It becomes the atmosphere how we live intimate relationship. So that's why our inner state is key to how we design our ecosystem, and our ecosystem is the closest version to the world that we want to live in. That's also important. If we have great ideas how to change the world, let's be able to change to express or to co-create the ecosystem that represents the world that we want to see on the bigger scale. And if we can create it around us, so we are able to create it also on a bigger scale. Otherwise, it's a good idea, but it's not embodied. It's not, I can't live it by myself. So I would like it, but between I would like it and my life is my practice and my healing work.